We learned today that one of the ways in which Suella Braverman had planned to limit legal migration was to raise the cap, was to raise the threshold for migrants coming to this country to work in businesses here to £40,000 a year. So if somebody comes to this country, they have to earn £40,000 a year, and this has to be demonstrated. Now, at the moment, it's £26,000. So the minimum salary for a skilled foreign worker to get a visa is £26,000, and to raise it to 40,000 is astonishing. Robert Jenrick is trying to raise it at the moment to 35,000. But of course, what this will mean is people won't be able to sponsor foreign workers to come to this country. So all that, I can't remember whether it's tier 2 or tier 4 visa process, which takes a long time, by the way, and is full of a lot of checks and balances. All of that will have been wasted, particularly for smaller businesses that simply cannot afford to pay some unknown person a salary of £40,000 the moment they start. So I think that would have a devastating effect. It would probably reduce the number of foreigners coming into the country to pick up jobs. It would also probably kill off quite a lot of those jobs. And the idea that Suella Braverman drew up a paper and can hold the Prime Minister to account for not keeping to the terms on her paper suggests that she is some sort of puppeteer of the Prime Minister. She was the Home Secretary. That is all. And people could say, "Oh, whoa, one of the major office holders in the country." Yes, but not the Prime Minister. And the idea that a junior member of the cabinet can puppeteer and hold the Prime Minister to account like this is simply abhorrent. It's laughable that she could even have thought it, and more so is laughable that anybody in the Conservative Party or anybody in the journalistic quarters can think that this is a credible way to behave. It's got nothing to do with the amount of money, with the terms of the agreement. It's to do with the idea that there could be a junior member in the government, in the cabinet, who can dictate the direction of government, who can dictate to the Prime Minister in this way, and then can then be aggrieved when the Prime Minister does what he is, or what she is appointed to do, which is to lead the country and to be the person who visits the Queen, or now the King, once a week to discuss the direction of the government, of His Majesty's government. And it's outrageous that the person who is ultimately in charge is some jumped up lacuna of limited luminosity, a limousine and lugubrious. Actually, I think with those sort of words, I'm probably more likely to be describing Jacob Rees-Mogg than the sinister sibilance of Suella. But I'll come back and I'll look at the details later. But it's the concept that that a minister can be appointed and can then hold power, can hold the Prime Minister hostage on these terms, and then thinks that this is something to boast about or brag about, or even that the Daily Telegraph can think that this is something that is a failing of Rishi Sunak, that is a failing of the Prime Minister, that he doesn't keep his promises. You cannot promise to do something that is wrong. That's a fundamental principle in British law. You cannot be held to a promise which is wrong. The promise automatically is negated and is automatically nonsensical. I think in British law they would be talking about something which is criminal. I'm not suggesting this is criminal. I'm suggesting this is morally reprehensible and is against all the traditions and principles of government. And her deal and her scathing departure letter, the scathing departure letter is just peak from somebody who finally got called out. But the fact that we should still be talking about this and poring over the details of a letter that should never have been written, should never have been agreed, and should never be considered with hindsight. It's outrageous, utterly outrageous. And if Rishi Sunak feels he has to capitulate to this, as he capitulated to the rhetoric of Rwanda, I think I think the hollow nature of power is revealed, and we have been living in some sort of fiction for at least a year, if the real power is with the junior ministers, not with the Prime Minister.